Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you have been paying attention to the crypto market, the last 24 hours have been very volatile and at the same time very shaky to be able to predict what's going to happen in the near-term future. Keep in mind, this is just a lot of whales which are trying to manipulate the market and try to get you to panic sell, thinking majority of the support by Bitcoin, Dogecoin is going to be broken and you are going to be losing a lot of money. Let me tell you something very important. If you're paying attention to the Dogecoin market, it's very clear that it's fallen back to 21 cents too, and you will realize that it's actually finding a little bit of a support there. This is the last support before the price actually falls down to 20 cents. Now if we talk about Bitcoin on the other end, something similar is happening, especially in the last 24 hours. Pretty much Sunday was a very volatile market and should give you perspective that Bitcoin was able to hit 107,000 and in just under 8 to 10 hours it actually fell all the way down to the previous support close to 102,000. If we do fall below this, something similar happens with Bitcoin, as it's going to fall down to close to 98,000 where the demand zone is sitting currently. But there are some important key pointers or critical zones that you need to pay attention to. Bitcoin ETF weekly inflow has cooled off from 2.7 billion in late April to around 277 million. So that should give you perspective that less whales which are buying through ETFs is actually slowing down their purchases. At the same time, Metaplanet buys another 1,000 Bitcoin worth nearly $100 million, and 100 million Dogecoin unlock is coming. What's going to happen? At the same time, Dogecoin's short-term setback means it's the next price rally will begin, and Russian focused darknet crypto sales jump by 68% as global revenue falls. Now before we get into the full details of all this, if you guys are here for the first time and you want to stay up to date with the crypto market, when something like this happens, you want the latest news, scroll down, tap the red subscribe button, especially turn on your notification so you can stay up to date with the latest and the greatest news first. And while there, slap a like on the video. Let's go for a like goal of 27. We've been smashing every single one, so I really appreciate you boys. You guys are all legends. Now first of all, let's talk about what's actually happening. Now if you just look at the price action, it's very clear that there was a little bit of a pull up trying to push above 108,000 and set an all-time high. But as that happened, a lot of whales which are pretty much trying to manipulate the market, including BlackRock and a lot of large firms, they decided to dump on everyone. They wanted to make sure that Bitcoin price stays close to 102 to 103,000. And if we just look at the liquidations, it will give you perspective that a lot of traders, especially the long-term traders, have lost quite a large chunk of money. As the market was super volatile, you can see 80 million, nearly 80 million was liquidated just in the last 24 hours. Now if you took a Dogecoin market in the last 24 hours, same thing has happened, nearly 12 million for the long traders. What's very interesting about this is if you look at the long to the short ratio, you'll come to realize that it dropped from 71 to 70, and the reason for this is obviously a lot of long-term traders got liquidated, so there is going to be a little bit of fear that will start to build, and it will take them a little bit of time to be able to open their position again. And on the other end, ETFs were running the entire Bitcoin market. After that, we noticed that Ethereum received a large chunk of investments and especially the money flowing in. But what really shocked the market, and in Sunday what exactly happened, was the ETF inflow actually cooled off really strong. Now everyone anticipated that the ETF purchasing will slow down, but this rate is quite insane. From 2.7 billion to 277 million, that's close to a 90% decline in just about a couple of weeks. Now that's about 2 to 3 weeks that we're talking about, so that should give you perspective why the market actually cooled off so quickly after there was a little bit of a pull up today morning. Now keep in mind, every single time the market, or including Bitcoin, Dogecoin, you compare any of them, usually what happens is whenever the market sees a large chunk of, you see a large event where it's just been consolidating for a long period of time, it's gonna cause a little bit of panic selling and usually ends up being a little bit of a downtrend. Now if you look at the Dogecoin overall trend, you can see that the higher high, let's just say the highs have been going lower. This was one breakout, but again, you can see we have fallen down to the previous support zone. This is a little concerning, but at the same time, it is going to be heavily dependent on the way the recent events are going to happen. Two things can completely change the events in terms of what will happen in the near-term future. first of all, the Dogecoin gets, influenced by some large celebrity or a government influencer. At the same time, Trump makes any sort of announcement. And the second thing is just a lot of whales deciding to buy, and seeing what UK is doing is definitely getting a lot of crypto traders to be a little bit skeptic in terms of what they want to do with their transactions. UK platforms to collect details of all crypto transactions for tax records. So if you live in the UK, you've completed a KYC with any sort of platform, they will need to keep your KYC. They will need to keep all your transactions, and they will be putting that to the government. And when they give it to the government, what is the government going to do? Tax you according to your revenue. Now, it will be taking a little bit more longer time to be able to implement all this, but this is a start, and it's going to start by the end of this year, and that is a big deal. At the same time, when you zoom out, support and resistance for Bitcoin became very, very clear. The supports have played a crucial role, and at the same time, the resistance is exactly what we're playing with currently. At the same time, 670 million, or actually liquidated from the crypto market in just the last 24 hours, and let's just say a huge chunk of crypto was liquidated, and this sell-off was fueled by a mix of microeconomic worries like fears of more Fed rates hike and some bad news in the industry, including a recent exchange hack, and a lot of traders are crushing in profit and big gains on altcoin. So currently it is true, keep in mind, as we're seeing a little bit of a pullback, the uncertainties around the world, a lot of smaller traders are actually taking profit from their altcoin and actually deciding to stand on the sideline before they make the decision in terms of what to do in the future. At the same time, class action lawsuit filed against Michael Saylor's strategy, alleging misleading statements about its Bitcoin strategy. Now, this is huge because you need to understand, strategy has been around for a long time. The company's been buying Bitcoin for a long period of time, and now they're going through some problems as the leader loves to make statements. And the crypto inflow surged to 785 million amid the Ethereum Petra ultra boost. So overall, Ethereum led the inflow with 200 million last week, fueled by its upgrade, and Bitcoin inflow dropped slightly to 500 million and amid the US Fed Hawkeye signal. Now currently the market is still in a good condition, and let's just say majority of the altcoins are still trying to perform as good as possible, but as well as Bitcoin is doing and Ethereum is doing, it's still, in my books, I feel like Dogecoin is still underperforming in terms of it should be close to 35 cents where the current price of the entire market is. And overall, the market of altcoins is definitely not favored, and that can be seen by how altcoin season is still favoring Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Dogecoin slide after the record weekly Bitcoin close. Now, Bitcoin falling a little bit is going to cause a lot of panic, and the altcoins are going to be affected heavily. While Bitcoin slips below 103 is 100k in power. And keep in mind, it's going to take a little bit of time to get all of this set up, but the market is still in a good sentiment because you can see the free to the greed index is still in the green. Meaning you should probably, if you have healthy profits, taking a little bit of profit is okay, but in the long term, the market is still in a good condition. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.